Hey, Rob.
Andrew Bauman.
I beat you to it, barely.
I know. I paused.
So, welcome back to the office. We had a fantastic weekend.
I think so.
Started out with Friday being the Arizona Craft Beer Awards.
Night. Yeah.
Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Executive Director of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Deputy Director Andrew Bauman. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier.
We had the Arizona Historical Center at our disposal. People saw history, and as I mentioned during the awards, which, by the way, they're just going to be on YouTube. I don't know that they would make a lot of sense as a audio podcast, but you can find those on our guild page if you want to follow along. But I mentioned that, history is about people living their lives, and that's what that historical center has exhibits for. So people got to wander around, and we also announced that we're going to launch a Craft Arizona Beer Hall of Fame. So maybe we'll have an exhibit in there, or in Yuma, or in Flagstaff, or in Tucson, where they have their other locations. I think
we could do a traveling exhibit.
Right. So we had it there, and you put on, you had the great layout, and you did a lot of the arrangements there. I worked on the program and then run a show, and together we had everyone there. And I was going to tell you, probably 10 minutes into people arriving, I was like, this is going to work. I felt like that first 45 minutes, wish could have
Lasted forever.
Right. And
Everyone was so excited to get there.
It was only followed by the last 45 minutes. Same thing.
Man, it was awesome. People were just... Wait, 45 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know. It was 45 minutes. An hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then, but I mean, that first 45 minutes when new people are coming, and you've only had a chance to chat with somebody a little bit, and you're going to talk to them later, and sometimes that didn't happen.
I just loved watching everyone hanging out, having these exciting conversations with people. That this environment was so different from when we usually get together, because we're not selling, we're not working. All those people were there just to enjoy the time.
Yeah. And the last thing I can remember that was sort of like that are when we had the conference a couple of years ago, and then before that we had our Brewers Ball. Ball, B-A-L-L.
Yeah.
And that was those were fun because we had people dressing up, and good to see people out of their short pants into
right
jackets and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a couple instances, and people haven't seen in a while. Adam Schmeichel, from Fate, talking with Doc from Pedal House, and obviously Melissa was there with him, and seeing sensing that I think the excitement. I think it was pretty palpable that Oro is going to do well this year, and just seeing them excited to talk to other people, and I talked to a couple of people afterwards. They're like, yeah, it's not a huge surprise to us that they did well. So
yeah, they've got that QAQC thing down.
Yeah. Well, what are we drinking here? Because I'm going to drink it, and we should do a toast to our success here.
Yeah.
What are we having?
We have one of the first Arizona superstar awards. I remember when Fate won for Candy Bar Milk Stout a couple times in a row, and it set everyone on fire.
Yeah. Well, I remember their hatch feeling the same way, but yeah, when you get two, it really sort of seals the deal.
So hey, cheers.
Cheers.
So we have the Candy Bar Milk Stout. It was released yesterday. Your pancreas hates you for this.
So yeah, and then at the awards, Oso had this. I don't know, like they used a 6-foot table as a charcuterie board, and had meats and cheeses and other cheeses and nuts, and
It was so great.
Yeah.
And then the to-go boxes for everyone, which helps mitigate
yeah. Did we
A
go through most
liability.
of that stuff?
of the food.
Yeah,
Everything.
nice.
Nothing got thrown out. Well, there was a case of like bread, but I don't want to talk about it. It hurts my heart.
Yeah, that was kind of hidden under the table.
But yeah, all the food got distributed. Everyone took it home. I'm sure most of it got eaten in the car.
I
It was
didn't. I
perfect.
didn't get a box. I missed out on that.
It was right there. We
I
had a
know.
whole cart of them. Oh, so great.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was just great to have that energy in the room. People went upstairs. I don't know if we have photos. We have some photos. We have photos of the award winners. We'll post on the video channel part. I have a little bit of video from the reception. I don't know if you have any photos.
I took like 2 photos. It was too much going on.
Yeah. The thing of this is really after Labor Day, it was go time. Weren't really sure. We spent a couple days getting our entries up to 150 so we could actually have some categories. And yes, I know we had to collapse categories, and that doesn't happen if you have more entries. So hopefully we can fix that next year.
I think that for the first year it was pretty amazing. And I think that knowing who won and how it correlated to what happens at GABF and WBC, we kind of showed that the judges had some pretty good chops. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, I already know there's probably some like, well, what happened to these guys? Well, I don't, it's not our place to say who entered and who didn't, but not everybody who you might list entered. And if they did enter, they may not have entered in the category that you would have predicted them to win.
Or they may have entered and put it in the wrong category.
Sure.
There were a few of those.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that they had 4 entries, and this is sort of a tune-up for World Beer Cup, which is coming up, or it's another data point. So strategically, I wouldn't blame them for like using our judging as a test bed and not necessarily entering like I don't know this is the case because I don't remember the entries, and even if I did, I would probably not say this for sure, but like, it's possible that, a brewery that won a World Beer Cup or a GABF or did well didn't enter in this category locally because they probably feel okay about their chances in other competitions. So they might have put something in new. I don't know. And I think that's one of the goals is not to hand out awards. The goals is to train judges and also to provide another set of feedback to get our awards recognized, our breweries recognized. So,
Right.
yeah.
And to give breweries more experience at entering competitions
Yeah.
because it is a skill.
It is. You see some entry mistakes or missteps. In this case, there was a couple that I had sort of like, I don't know, it's on the bleeding edge, but that's what you do. And sometimes that pays off. So I would like to see more brewery judges. I think we had a handful, and they were instrumental in getting this done. But it could be we're gonna hand the notes back, and there's not as insightful as the breweries that would like. But
As if we had actual brewers who are know the words they're looking for.
right, and if you're a brewer judge, you're more inclined to write those kinds of feedback pieces.
Right.
Not to diminish anyone else, but that is what they're looking for, so that is probably what they're trying to write. So that could be an improvement. But as I said, we had a minimal time to do this, and I just think it's hilarious that we walk in and we say we do a 20-minute sound check. We find a bunch of wireless microphones, and we set up the whole thing. We got the projector rolling, and found a studio camera that we could leave unmonitored, and so the video is what it is,
And put the microphone up next to the speaker.
yeah. Yeah, if we would have had another day or one extra person to I don't know, navigate the camera or run a second camera, or if we could have got on separate channels, to so we could do some better post production. But just for rolling in there and having everybody technical actually on stage and running the thing almost remotely.
Would have been nice to bring the lights down at some points and other stuff, but
yeah.
next time, we learn.
Yeah, no. So very, very pleased.
It still went off really, really well. My microphone was shit, but
yeah. And we just had no way of knowing when you're up there. It's like you
can't
feel like
hear anything.
You can't tell
happening.
if anyone's paying attention or hearing or whatever. It was kind of cool. We watched the playback this morning, and it was kind of cool. It's hard to see. I think we only pulled back one time to show the crowd from the back, but I think we had about I want to say just shy of 200 people there. I don't know how many people.
We had 200 tickets.
Yeah.
And we definitely had people that weren't ticketed that showed up.
Yeah, and there were people probably who just didn't even go into the auditorium. Just probably a handful probably hung out.
That
in
would
the
make
lounge.
me sad for them, but okay.
Well,
that energy in there too, man.
We like to think that we're not superstitious, but I know people have things, right?
Okay.
So maybe they're.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I won't be in the room.
Yeah.
Because the first time I got a medal, I was in the bathroom, so I won't come in the room. And
people to do that. Yeah.
Oh boy, I thought just baseball players did that.
I remember years ago reading that Tommy Arthur liked to go to Chipotle and have lunch before GABF every year. And I don't know if he still does that, but he thought that was good luck.
All right.
So, and he's won a few things. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend. I mean, like, I also told people at GABF, like, I said, yeah, I haven't sat with anybody during these awards because it's too painful for me to watch when I know that their categories gets passed by.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, yeah, it's probably bad luck. So I like to sit in the front so I can take my pictures. If I'm hanging out with them, it's too hard to get in and out and stuff. So,
yeah.
But I say, oh, you might be superstitious. You don't want to sit with me. It's not good luck. Because I did sit with like 4 breweries like my first year, and it was like you could just see everyone hanging their head lower and lower. We got shut out that year, so maybe I'm superstitious.
Yikes. Yeah. Well, I mean, this industry right now, like, there's no saying who's going to win what awards when, because people would say, look at these large breweries that we have in the state, and they must be able to just bring home medal whenever they want. But then Oro, Saddle Mountain consistently winning. Like, they don't have these big organizations and giant labs and, huge tasting panels. They're
sure. And a production brewery has to get out of their everyday day-to-day. Let's be straight up honest. If you're cranking out a product, if you're serious about entering it, you will pick apart that whole process, and you will fast track a good entry.
sure.
You won't necessarily take it out of your shelf stuff.
Right.
That's just a fact. And they don't need to. Most people won't notice the difference. They like what they like.
Right.
What they like may not actually hit a style guideline.
Mm-hmm.
So, even though it says IPA or a certain type of IPA.
Might be a strong pale.
Yeah.
So many nuances to all these categories. It's wild.
It's true. And I kind of fell out of the whole thing. By the way, I don't actually judge any beers now. I just run the back of the house and the structure of it. I do like to taste them, but I don't notionally, I don't have experience judging a hazy to the numbers.
Right.
Right. And it's so subjective, hazy, juicy, right? They're documented, but in the Brewers Association GABF World Beer Cup, you got to know your numbers, and I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no point in me doing that. But I'm super pleased. People who won should be super pleased. People who entered, I think, that went to the awards were just super enthused, even though they didn't win. I think it's going to be place to be for people in the industry. So, we closed that out. We let people hang out till 9:00. We got out at 9 exactly, relatively clean.
Yeah, we did. Man, she asked me earlier while we're setting up. She said, so as far as my staff goes, what time do you think you guys are going to be out of here? I said, well, starts at 6:30. The award should go till 8. Hopefully we're out of here by 9. And she and her staff looked at each other and like, yeah, right. It did work out though.
Yeah.
8:58.
Yeah.
That was a long day. That was
Yeah.
11 hours on site.
Yeah. And I met a couple folks at Casey Moore's, and we drank Coors Banquet.
I met a couple people at Twisted Tipsy Cactus.
Tipsy. Alma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I met the people from Button and Old Ellsworth and Uncle Bear's.
That was great. In my head, I was going to say, let's all go to the shop. But it didn't come out of my mouth because that's like probably the closest.
Yeah. But they were probably slam busy anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Friday night in Tempe. They're going to be pretty hopping.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad, but I think it might have been a challenge to find a table, to be honest.
Hey, so we just took that break, and we should probably just highlight some of the winners. Maybe talk about some notes from the thing. And again, if you want to watch the actual awards, it's on YouTube, on the Guild's channel.
But beyond that, we can talk a little bit of it out. Let's do it.
Yeah. So we did.
First off, we did a really hilarious video about is Star Wars themed, about all the judges, and also just the awards. It was so funny. If you're listening, go to our YouTube channel and watch that. All right. I'm not saying watch the hour-long awards presentation, but watch that thing.
Yeah, it was just a little way for us to list all our judges instead of just having a slide of 40 people on it.
We got some sponsors for our categories and for various things throughout the event, which was hard to do with our limited time, and also very generous of them to participate when it was such a limited time, and their payback was not as much as we would really normally hope to have.
Yeah. So if you want to see the winners listed, because we're not going to talk about every single beer, there is a link to the Phoenix Magazine article, and there are some things that we'll talk in a little bit more depth. But American Fruit Beer, the gold medal was Salt River Lager from Historic, who has had success with that. I don't remember if it was GABF, but I think they have won before with that beer. I'm almost positive.
I will defer to you.
So that was good, and we also talked about some of those medals this year.
You know what we forgot to mention was that Huss won 2 medals at the American World Seltzer Cup, the World Open of Seltzer. And I'm not saying that to be dismissive. I'm saying like we totally neglected that, and I thought about it and I forgot to tell you.
Oh.
So they won 2 awards there. And then we also had our World Beer Cup medalists.
Yeah, I think you just did that to make me feel bad.
What? No, of course not.
Because I remember that too, and I'm like,
yeah,
this is what happens when shoestring budget and time.
Yeah, we really threw this together out of nowhere, but you worked hard on it, Rob. Thank you.
So we
hours and hours into late wee hours of the night putting this together. Thank you.
No, I got to cheers again. I don't have.
Yeah, we're gonna cheers again. Come on, man.
I feel like this is a drinking game at this point.
Well, when you pour yourself 2 ounces at a time. Also, so then we had our GABF medalists.
We did pretty well. I mean, you can look at the results. We wanted to, and we will every year have that placeholder to talk about the rest of the year, which we will include seltzer winners if we know about them and we know about it. So we missed that. And that will be, that's something for any partner that wants to help us sort of tell that story. especially if it's their distributor or their brewery or their cidery. I really hope that we expand into other areas with these kinds of awards. But having national and world recognition is important, so we listed that. We got to my first typo, so I'm going to skip that. But
The Fruit Wheat Beer Award, Trigo Suave by Oro Brewing Company.
That's a beer that our first episode was about this beer at the World Beer Cup, and they won a silver. So it's kind of full circuit. It was good to see a new brewery in here in the mix, Greenwood, because I don't know that they've ever appeared on a radar for national recognition at all, and so it was good to see that. And
also, I love that they always do they definitely think out of the box, and they have that small brewery mentality of let's do some fun, cool stuff, and I just love that.
The next one was that previous medal was sponsored by Scout. This one was Bellbank Park, and we wanted to talk a little bit about Real Wild and Woody. We didn't end up doing that. I think we sort of backloaded that into a discussion later, but they were supposed to be there. But Saturday was supposed to be a balloon launch, and if you remember Saturday for anything, just know that the weather was not projected to be suitable for balloon operation.
No.
And you just don't want to operate a balloon when the weather is not suitable for balloon operation.
The biggest balloon operation festival is the Albuquerque one, and they canceled 2 of their 5 days.
Yeah,
I saw a whole article about it. It's been a rough month for balloons.
Yeah. So now you're getting balloon value in this podcast.
So the next category is herb spice coffee, and the gold medal went to Alewife's Pumpkin Pie Martzen from Desert Monks Brewing Company. Some of my favorite people, and I'm gonna go to number 2 is Sudoku, because that is kind of my desert island beer.
Yeah, and this is the first appearance of Beer Research with Morning Sex, and they between BRI.
These are my 3 favorite breweries: Gilbert, and On My Street. I live on the same road as Beer Research Institute. It's just 8 miles, and that feels far down that road because there's a lot of stoplights. But this is apparently my little boom. I would never drink a pumpkin pie beer.
I don't know. I don't have the city totals, but Mesa did pretty well with this. This was
They did 5.
One of the 5 medals.
Yeah. Specialty beer from Republic National Distribution Company, RNDC. Yeah. That was Rosemary IPA from Greenwood again for
as a bronze.
Yeah. And Boom Dynamite from Oso in Paradise Valley got gold.
Yeah, and Beer Research got their 2nd medal.
Why do you keep bringing them up? I'm trying to ignore them.
Just
teasing.
When you put together the order of the awards, and we kept the order categorically, but we moved some things around. I think we just told, "Hey, good job, BRI," and we made them walk halfway down the stage and call them back up. It's you usually have a guy to
favorite.
Figure that out.
I want them to run. They need to work out. Do you see how tall those guys are? Just Mark.
Well, Mark brings the average height up 1.5 feet. There's a picture, and I don't know if I'll put it in the video, but Mark's on the one end, and they look like the hitchhikers from the Haunted Mansion in Disney because the way he's leaning.
True. And his outfit. He's wearing a purple pimp suit. All right. The Director's Award with John. We talked about that.
Yeah.
So can't be said enough.
Yeah. For the 1-800 or 988 beer, we could have given this award for a lot of different reasons, and he's going to help decide the next award. It's sponsored by Quail. They were one of the first people to respond to our package and
jumped in there.
They've always had these kinds of that is true to what they have told me about their distributor and what they believe in. And once in a while, Scott Hendricks will tell me the programs that his distributor is going through in terms of it's not just all beer training. It's other types of enrichment, and it made sense to me that they called right away. So I'm really happy for that. And I wish I realized I didn't give Bob Haddock the floor. I should have done that. But I wanted to include their distributor because I'm in my head, the point was like, let's get every one of your brands to pick this concept up of renaming a beer or doing a beer. And in the flurry of the moment, I don't think that really translated, but that was my intent in having them together. So we also introduced the concept of the Arizona
Hall of Fame committee.
Beer Hall of Fame committee. And Printing Solutions did our Sour Wild. And it was good for them to help us out with that. Chris wasn't able to come up on the stage. Andrew Pinch, who we work with on a lot of things, was at a convention in Las Vegas. But Helva
Brewing in Chandler. They did pretty well.
They did. They got this gold medal, and it was one of the first medals for Grand Avenue as a silver with their Berliner Wurst, the Teutonic, and
Shop Beer Co. got Neonic Orange Julius as the bronze, but Helva Brewing Company really hasn't been super out there. So when they entered 4 beers in this competition, I was kind of surprised, and then they did some winning.
Yeah,
and not that I'm surprised they won, but they just hadn't been anywhere on the scene. They're a small tap room focused brewery, do no distribution.
And we owe them a visit, and they're not that far down the road.
I go there on the regs.
Oh well, I mean, having their roots with their former brewer in Huss and Gordon Beers before that, Steve Stone. I wouldn't have expected the categories that they won to be the categories, but
because there's a new brewer.
Well, I'm just saying, like, they definitely had solid roots, right? Like you don't ignore the processes that were in place. Just maybe the styles changed. So good. We had this next category, wood barrel aged, sponsored by Arizona Barrels, Bottles, and Brews, which is going to be November 12th. Tickets are available now. That is your first opportunity, probably, to buy some Strong Beer Festival tickets at a price that's probably not beatable. So put that on your radar. But Ad Astra took two of the 3 categories, with a vanilla vapor for gold and a bourbon maple. We had talked to them about their potential move, and we'll see if that's coming. They're moving to
additional outlet.
Yeah, additional outlet in Tempe. And so if you want to look that podcast up, they tell you all about it.
And Mud Shark had Bustin' Nuts.
I just wanted you to say that.
Thanks. Also, there's another typo. You should have capitalized nuts, but whatever. Bustin' Nuts.
You just saw that now.
Well, yeah, but I saw it now.
This was fun for me because we had Craig Miller from Arizona Liquor Industry Consultants come up, and he had torn his Achilles, and he had to come up on a scooter, and we had to. He used to be to be a liquor department agent, and he's when I knew him, he was a Coors Light guy through and through, and now he's definitely a craft beer convert. But you can't take the country out of the boy. I know this because I still drink PBR once in a while, and whatever. I'll drink whatever someone puts in my hand sometimes, but I had him sponsor the lager category
because it seemed fitting.
Yeah.
Hey, Flying Basset in Gilbert again.
Yeah, Gilbert.
Yeah.
East Valley. Kind of.
Yeah, that's the closest brewery to my house.
East
El
Valley.
Capitan Cerveza. That is 2 miles from my house, and that is a brewery which has gone through a lot of changes. They opened with a restaurant and one owner, and they changed to a new. I don't think ownership changed. I think that like management changed to
operations and
yeah. They decided to go and discontinue their restaurant part of it, and they're going big into distribution, and they're canning a bunch of stuff, and they've really been, from what I talked to them about the other day, they're just putting a lot of beer out there, which is awesome for what is essentially a taproom retail brewery.
I was going to say we should owe them a visit, but you said you're there. Maybe I just need to go drink in your neighborhood occasionally.
I do like. Yeah. I don't go to rent house as often as you do. I think.
Yeah, silver for in-house for Valley Beer.
Yeah.
So there's some internal consistency here with good beers reaching levels in our competition and nationally, and then Fate with local lager.
Yeah. They won some medals with that too, didn't they?
Not with local lager, I don't think.
Huh.
Not sure. Hensley Beverage Company sponsored the next category, and Melissa Osborne, who helped run our judging, World Beer Cup judge, GABF judge.
For many years.
Yeah. So she collected a medal earlier. This was her second bronze, not hers, but the brewery's.
Golden Lager,
Golden
bronze,
Lager.
yeah. Then Dragoon with Dragoon Pilsner, and gold was Pedal House and Pilsner.
Yeah, it's good to see Eric up here and at the festival the next day, and his father. Those were one of my first CBCs. I ran into both of them and before they were open.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
And I think they had just designed their logo and all this stuff, and for them to be a substantial brewery in Tucson these days is really cool. I think. And then Pedal House with the Pilsner Gold, and having Melissa and Doc on the same stage, and
Very adorable.
yeah, and Melissa
Rare
under her
public
breath,
display of affection. Oh my
and
God.
under her breath gave Doc the old, my God, my husband. Like there was a swear word, but endearing, as one would. You've been sworn to by your wife, and I have the same way.
In very sweet ways, yes.
This next award was the Oktoberfest Fest beer, and it was sponsored by Shamrock Foods, who came through in a pinch. I gave them a call because our judging location fell through. This is like on Monday or Tuesday, and we're supposed to judge on Saturday, and we got it done, and they were so enthused to help us out. I wish they could have been here, but hopefully we'll get them back for next year. But Huss with an Oktoberfest bronze. It's kind of a weird category, but Bob's Your Dunkel from Oso Brewery in Gilbert. And then guess what, Andrew? We had somebody on our show that we said was a sleeper brewery that more people should check out. And it was the beer that we drank the most of at the time that we had the show.
Yeah.
Look Oktoberfest.
Looktoberfest.
Look Brewing and Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. Good to see Marissa up there.
Yeah. She was having so much fun. She's such a great community member. Her energy is just awesome.
Yeah. So this joke didn't really land.
No, I mean, it landed for me so good. So Amber Stout Porter category was sponsored by
Google Forms.
Because everything we do with our members is through Google Forms. And a lot of times they don't really fill it out. And then they just email us and be like, hey, can you put this in for me?
I'm in. I get an email back. Fill out this form, which includes all the details that are legally required by the state. We have to know these things. We can't just say that you're a part of it. Sometimes there's instructions in there, and there's there's an opportunity to get the right information to the right hands. And we're like, I'm in.
Anyways.
Call me up. Did I sign up? You would got a receipt.
Did I sign up? Yes. Did you search Arizona Craft Beer Awards? And then the reply came up.
So it was kind of a joke. And
I guess it was just funny to us.
There was kind of a lurch. We probably...
Really, people were like, what? And we just worked hard to sell the joke, and it fell flat. But hey.
When you put together...
Cheers again.
Yeah. When you put together an hour presentation and not rehearse, this is going to happen.
What? What do you mean not rehearse?
It was rehearsed in my head many, many, many times.
That's what I'm saying.
Yours as well. But
yeah.
Comedy's all about... You're supposed to interrupt me and say timing. Comedy's all about...
Timing. Rob, timing. Okay, I don't know.
So it was really sponsored by Gamage and Burnham. We brought Camille up on stage, who is our liquor attorney, and she used to work for the state's attorney at the liquor department. Super knowledgeable. I kind of made a joke that she looked like Mindy from Mork and Mindy because she was wearing a vest and she had a cap on, and it was another joke that didn't land.
Another one. People are like, what are you talking about? Because no one knows Mork and Mindy except us olds. All right. We had Clandestine from Saddle Mountain Brewing. They won.
Yeah.
Again.
11 different medals that they've won.
Yeah, a ton. 11D7. Sonoran Amber from Dragoon.
I think their second medal.
Oh, I'm going to go get that right now. You keep talking.
Yeah. And then this was another gold medal from Sebastian Porter. And that is not a typo. I'm not sure why it's Sabastin. But they captured that medal. And if you don't already know the results, you should know that this has propelled them on their way to winning the whole shebang. What do you have? Oh, we have that. We have the Sonoran Amber.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let you crack that. We had another sponsored category from Hensley with the gold/blonde category. And I'm going to drink.
Wow, that Sonoran Amber is very thick. I mean,
Headwise and
when I poured it in there, I was like, wow.
well, we just got done with a wit, so or I did. So
I did too. That's why I rinsed my glass out.
Two Tucson winners, Motor Sonoran Brewing Company, not a stranger to winning medals.
Mm-hmm.
They won, I think, two. One in their first year before they actually opened. We mentioned Tommy Arthur earlier in the show. He was instrumental in the design of beers and brew house and all that stuff as a consultant.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Arthur from Lost Abbey. And Barrio Blonde, that beer has medaled, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good to see Jamie up there. And it's good to see when Tucson people come up. All the people from Tucson that won came up except for... well,
Pueblo Vita.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. Button Brewing was there?
Yeah. And then another gold from Inside the Park for Oro Brewing Company, which would, I think that's their third.
That's their third.
Yeah.
Gold.
Mm-hmm. 3 medals, 3 golds. That's
3
gonna
entries.
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't have revealed that.
No, he talked about it earlier.
Shoot.
And also it's out there on the internet.
I mean, yeah, but they...
Here's a category, Belgian Heffa and Wheat, and it is by Beverage Logistics. They do line cleaning and they do installation of draft systems. Sean Taylor used to be at Hensley. Big supporter behind the scenes of our guild. And
anyone who cleans draft lines is a supporter of our guild.
yeah, and that is true.
There's another topic.
Yeah, we'll get on it. We'll get Sean on here. We had almost a sweep of the category here by Grand Avenue Brewing Company. It's a kind of a congested category because of the way things go. But Grand Avenue winning with a quad gold and a bronze with Golden Devil, and here's the other Tucson brewery that did well, and it's Pueblo Vita with their Hef.
Yeah.
We did a packaging award.
A packaging award was done.
Yes.
We did not do it. It was done.
Well, it was an editorial decision by Phoenix Magazine. I wanted to have that category, and they chose.
Yes.
It's one of those where, in retrospect, we could have had more visuals ahead of this, but we didn't know how long we were going to take to get through these slides.
I think that there's going to be a lot of changes on that category next year as far as the way that it happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could do.
We kind of just punted it and said, "Hey, you guys handle this,"
and they did a great job because,
But I would like to have more packaging industry people making those decisions in a larger pool than just
the long way of saying we want more variety and we want more people to have input, but not you and me.
No, not me. I am terrible at design.
Gold.
I can see things and say I like it, and everyone's like, "That is the worst." And I'll be like, "But I..." Go on.
Got to keep that in mind next time you have an opinion on something that involves design.
If you're looking to buy a new car, don't ask me because I like ugly cars.
So gold was Fest beer. I actually do enjoy that label for its simplicity and color scheme, and it carries through to their other German-inspired beers. So you just have to look that one up.
I'm not saying any of these were the wrong choice.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is next time we need a wider judging pool.
Sure. And, we can talk about cardboard. We can talk about all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely.
because I'm going to give an award to anybody who puts their 16 ounces in the tall flats. Anybody who puts it in the low flats will never win that award. Because I'm like, yeah, you do not win an award.
That was just from repackaging. Don't worry. But
No.
You're right. You're totally right. It's not always repackaging.
You got to have that really big flat for the 16s. You can get away with the lower one for the 12.
Taller case tray.
Yeah. Silver was Head Harvester from Bonehouse Brewing Company. And Dynamite IPA from Goldwater was bronze. And on the video of the presentation, I have superimposed those three. That's not something you saw in real life.
Thank you.
I know. Something I do. We saved a larger category for the end. It was American IPA, 17 entries. Did you call like a brewery that used to work at an alma mater? No, you call it a alma brewer. What do you call it?
Former employer? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ocean Beach,
Yeah.
West Coast IPA, bronze.
Yeah. I love that beer.
Coast to Coast, hell of a brewing company. That was you alluded to that. They did well on that. And
Yeah.
this is more of a traditional category that I thought they would probably excel at. Not necessarily American IPA because it's very competitive. So good for them.
Yeah.
And then Monsoon from Phoenix Beer Co.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because that's the one I kind of gravitated in the tap room, and I don't get very deep in there, but we do meet there frequently because Adam Wojciech was the president, is the president, and so we have meetings there, and it's like you don't lean into a lot of beers at meetings like that. You just get them, and
Right.
it's good for them.
And my when I do my beer tours with the Arizona Brewery Tours,
Yeah.
that's the name, right? Arizona Brewery Tours.
Yeah.
When I do beer tours, we're almost every time we go there.
Yeah.
Because it's just a great environment. They have space, they have time, they have tons of beers. They're really good. And so I get to hang out at that place also.
Yeah. This was an interesting category because it is the biggest entered category, 21 entries.
21 entries.
Juicy Hazy IPA. So I don't see this is
They're all
they're all
juicies. Are they hazies?
good. I don't know.
I mean, Spellbinder's kind of hazy. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't have the opportunity to try it enough to know for sure.
I've had Spellbinder. I like it in that the ones here that I've seen on this cat. I mean, we haven't talked about them. The people who are listening don't know what we're talking about yet. I've had all these, and what as an older person, if you will, I value consistency over the rare find, and these are all very consistent beers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so Spellbinder won with the bronze from Rinhouse, and that has won the tippity top award of this category at GABF, in the past. So again, a little consistency. Campy from Oso Brewery in Gilbert, and La Ciudad from Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company, and again, I think they're great choices.
Yeah.
And
It's nice to see. It is nice to see Arizona Wilderness out there.
three quarters of the way into the show, it should be stated again, I guess, if we didn't explicitly state it. All these are judge blind.
Mm-hmm.
There's no labels on them. They're presented. They either meet or do not meet the category standards, and some later round,
Yeah,
they're assigned a score. And
It's not 100%. This is my favorite beer. It's definitely this fits the category.
Yeah.
This fits the standards this category should be.
Yeah. And that was sponsored by Salt River Fields, and we did a little funny thing where I'm like, oh, we were supposed to show your video before this, and we didn't. Can you hang up here for a minute? And I didn't let everyone know that this was going to happen, and we did their standard, here's our location, spring training baseball. And you can watch the video either in the context of the awards or as it's a separate piece on YouTube. And I put in the first I rearranged the order and because it was more based on the festival location, and they do this pan and scan over a festival, and one of the tents I superimposed the Strong Beer logo, and I don't think anyone caught that. And then I changed some of the wording. I changed some of the wording on the on some of the text, and then I started to fade in the barrel from the Strong Beer guy, and then I faded in the logo with the Strong Beer woman and the Strong Beer man, and I still don't think people got it. And it was like I put beer.
People got a little confused.
Yeah, it looked like it just.
I mean, but it wasn't confusion. It was like, what's happening?
On? And then, their title card alone,
crazy.
and then I put the title card.
There we go.
That we announced that this was the location for Strong Beer in February 18th, 2023.
And they went crazy.
And they went crazy.
That
So
went wild.
you can listen to that separately, or you can watch it in the context. So, and then it brings us to Best of Show. Which was sponsored by Bar and Restaurant Insurance. Colloquially, we know this is Dilo, David DiLorenzo.
They're super good, dude.
Yeah.
All the positive energy. Loving everybody.
Yeah.
And
I think we wore him out, man, because I thought he was gonna talk, and he just said, "Isn't this cool?" And that's it.
and
That's
the
all he
most
said.
he had the most I think the first 2 hours of the event kind of got him because he was jumping around during the reception. And
Yeah.
anyways, Mayor John Giles.
Yeah.
Giles.
Yeah. Why are you bringing him
Oh.
up? We're still on Best of Show.
Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
So, look at that. Two of the breweries that we just talked about in your area. No, actually, that's Paradise Valley. Okay, I'm sorry.
Flying Basset got El Capitan for bronze, Best of Show.
Yeah.
Boom
See,
Dynamite.
you might hear Oso mentioned more times than
Others.
They enter based on the location. So Oso Gilbert had some entries in Paradise Valley, but they don't combine together
Right.
because they're separate teams and they're separate breweries, and that's the way the GABF does it. That's the World Beer Cup does it.
Yeah.
You can't just get multiple entries because you have.
It's like Red House
Yeah.
has 2 breweries.
Yeah, and they won with their production brewery in Prescott.
And Four Peaks has 2 breweries.
Yep.
And other breweries have multiple breweries.
Exactly. So Boom Dynamite, Paradise Valley with the silver, and then Monsoon won the gold. Phoenix Beer Co. And the Best of Show is every gold medal winner put on a table, and again, blind. Which is even more confusing because you've judged a lot of these, but
Some of these are barrel aged versus pilsners.
yeah, and it's this is the only subjective medal because there's no criteria. I don't even think they get into.
I think the judges get to do whatever they want. Like,
Yeah.
okay, let's all. What do you think about this? This is okay.
They don't get into the stats anymore.
Right.
They may not even get a chance to dig into what the style is. They just drink them and go, "This is the one I want."
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit like a dog show, dog and pony show, if you will.
Oh, that's different. Dog and pony show versus a dog show. Dog show is very much about standards.
Well, not the Best of Show.
Best of show.
No, it's just
Have you seen the Best of Show movie? Ever?
with Michael McKean.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't watch it every year like I do?
I've watched it, but I couldn't say that's pretty subjective.
Every year. It's not subjective. It's very specific. Go on.
That was the winner of that.
Yeah.
Subjective.
Okay.
We brought Mayor Giles up, and he had a little bit to say about the rebirth of downtown Mesa and the many years it took to get there. And we talked about a little bit about his pride in what our industry has done as a partner in that destination.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, there are other businesses there that are also exceeding themselves, but they don't have an organization like us to bring everyone together.
Yeah. I mean, there are some really cool restaurants down there. And
So this was sponsored by Visit Mesa, and we had a tie for silver based on points. 2 of the breweries came in at 15 points, and that was Oso Brewery Gilbert and Grand Avenue Brewing Company. But our ultimate winner with 3 gold medals was Oro Brewing Company in Mesa.
18 points.
Yeah. It's 654.
Yeah.
I don't know why they start at 6. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's So that was our awards show, and we obviously gave some time to talk about the next day, but those are the award winners, and we're going to take a quick break and get back to the third part of our show.
Great.
How much more of this beer do we have? Where is that beer?
Oh, we have a lot. It's in the fridge.
Oh, well. Okay.
What?
I was going to pour some more.
Oh, great.
When you don't eat lunch, this is lunch.
I know. There's a lot of calories in this, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. What's the ABV on this? Do you know?
No,
Okay.
I don't know, but there's a lot of sugar in there, so it's not a standard one that I would go for, but it's really good.
Yeah. No. I mean, am I going to drink pints and pints? Only if I'm stuck on a podcast with my earphones on and I can't get another beer. No, it's a treat. It's a treat for sure. It's like you like to visit it once in a while. It's like it's like your college buddies showing up. There you go. Yeah.
So Saturday morning, get there, get set up. Got, I think they had about 25, 30 breweries.
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Something like that. 25, I think.
Yeah.
Good amount. Good amount to build on.
The venue's great.
Venue's great.
Big green grass, I guess, when you have
It's like
all turf
It's
people.
it's like walking on a putting green.
So nice. I took my flippy floppies off and was hanging out with my feet.
I want to say it's 275,000 square feet of putting green.
Yeah.
And some trees around, which, will get bigger. They didn't really provide a lot of cover for the middle of the field. There is an off-track bedding where kind of
MGM.
valleys, MGM, yeah, there. And then there's, we had access to that other side. There's buildings on either side, 2 or 3 stories. I don't remember.
I think it's 2 with a rooftop patio.
I didn't take advantage of the VIP stuff. I didn't even walk in there.
And that was cool.
Did you go in there?
No, but they had these. They had like
Yeah.
double tiered rooftop patio that VIPs could sit on and
Yeah.
overlook the whole park. And
One of us should have went in there so we know what we're talking about next time. I would like to do an event there, but maybe it's gonna be tough.
we have a lot of events on the calendar
I know.
overall already, and others that have been approached already. So
Yeah, no. I'm just saying it's I think you could comfortably get 3,000 people in there. So it would have been nice. It will be nice. It will be nice next year when the crowd we had gets a little larger. I think that'll be fun. And I don't have any problem with us having our awards in Tempe and having it that out there. Just as a data point for everybody on why and where and how we do things. When you have a Thursday night Cardinal game and in those hotels there, it makes it real tough for us to get anything even close. And as it stands, I think with our inducting or starting the Hall of Fame process and doing more oral history of the craft beer thing, I think our association with the Historical Society makes sense. Yeah, I was really super impressed with the location. Things went pretty smoothly as far as I could see. A little bit warm, but 90 degrees, I'll take it.
well, it wasn't even that warm because it's about.
Oh, you're right. In the afternoon.
Well, it started at noon, and then 1 o'clock was general admission, and by 3 o'clock we had clouds rolling in, and luckily we didn't get hit too bad with wind.
Yeah.
So let me tell you a little story.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on the Grand Canyon booth there in the last 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Had to take a little break for a second. I said, can you watch it? I said, sure. So I'm standing there talking, and this gust of wind came in and lifted that tent up and smashed it down on the ground. Luckily, there was no damages, no injuries. All of us were trying to grab it, but that wind was just too strong. Like, it just ripped it right out. And no one else had a problem. It just hit ours. But then we just tidied it up, and it was fine.
The first Easy Up I ever bought for the guild was before we had a branded one. It was just a white one, and I set it up in Tucson. And Tucson is a windy city in the spring. A lot of cities are, but I just remember setting it up and like it took a tumble, put a grass stain on the corner of it. Like the first minute, it was up. Yeah, like oh okay. And then I went around all authoritative because we were like hours before open. Like you might want to put that down. You might want to
lower it down.
Lower it down.
That's gonna
stake it.
Staking it would help. Yeah. Except no one wants us to ever use stakes in any grass anywhere ever.
Yeah. Drip lines.
Oh my God.
If you are building a park that will feature events, know that everybody wants a tent, and you can bury your drip lines an extra 4 inches or 5 inches deeper.
Yeah.
Pay the expense and get it done.
God. So annoying.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Also,
we have sandbags on the guild tent. So.
Also, you can mark them.
You can mark them. That should be a pretty easy thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I mean, you could even like put a metal strip and use a little whatever. There are solutions, but it does take a little bit of effort.
Yeah.
And well. Anyways, yeah, it was great. We had a whole bunch of our members there. Everyone was very excited. You met the No Strong Beer guy.
Yeah. There's a guy walking around, and I'm surprised that he's wearing a shirt that says it's got the strong beer with the. And I talked to him. I said, "Well, did you ever talk about why getting with anybody?" No, and I don't want to get into the circumstances, but he was asked to leave a festival, and I wasn't there to do any of that kind of fact finding. I'm like, well, you're telling the story to me without any malice in your heart, so it's kind of a joke. Then it's kind of between you and your friends. He's like, yeah, kind of. I'm like, well, maybe he's telling a different story to somebody else. Like, I'm like, well, okay, well.
He said he goes to all of our other festivals except Strong Beer.
Yeah, and I just said, well, from the perspective of we're basically inviting the entire town of Sedona for beers, like this population-wise, and like. And we're hiring people during the time when there's sometimes a Super Bowl and sometimes Waste Management. Like, you understand that this is just a temporary little city that we put up and that these kinds of things happen. So
it's wild.
He's like, yeah, but whatever.
So then that was it.
Yeah.
That was the festival.
Yeah.
That was the awards. That was the festival. We're ready for next year.
It was nice to just go to something that, that the people you're partnering with, the good people at Phoenix Magazine, are going to handle things and represent your brand. And so you didn't have to get up that early. You could have just attended like I did. But I understand.
We committed to putting up a booth.
To whom, I don't know.
Well, we won't next year. I mean,
maybe we will. But.
Maybe we will, but I don't know. There was not a lot of point in us being there.
As a physical see the tent kind of yeah. No, I agree, but we didn't know.
I poured all beers that were medal winners, so that was kind of cool. I really wish that there was a way to shorten the time between turning in beers and having the event, because some of the beers that won medals had no chance of being there because they were already gone for the season or whatever.
Well, that even happens at GABF. So
absolutely.
That's okay.
At GABF, I get it. It's a national thing. With local, I wish we could be faster because we're more nimble, closer.
Yeah, if we're gonna collect GABF entries, which I think makes a lot of sense. I don't know that I want to push the festival in a time period where the extra couple of weeks we wait makes it way more comfortable,
right,
for the festival goer. And I guess in some respects, there's something to be said for somebody who like, oh, I had that beer, that's so cool, and then can they, move on? Like, I don't know. We can't be. I think it's unrealistic.
Yeah,
I understand that
it worked out really well.
Yeah.
I just wish there was a way we could do it.
Yeah. If you figure it out.
So look, it's not up to us. It's up to the breweries. So there's nothing for us to really figure out.
True. Yeah.
All right. Well, I suppose that we can wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah. What's next?
We're going to talk about that.
On the next show?
Yeah.
Okay. We made a big announcement at this thing. I don't know.
Big announcement. It's coming up.
Okay.
Okay.
It's out there. If you're
Yeah.
listening, the big announcement's already out there.
Our guild Facebook page and all, you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of traction. Okay. All right. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out, Rob.
I'm out of beer, so
That's
cheers.
it. These two both have beer in them.